Hello guys, welcome to my next Q&A session. We will be doing more Minecraft, and today I will be showing you guys how to build a strip mine, but I'm also going to make it rather nice and spacious because it's creative mode. If you were doing this in standard mode, you wouldn't want to make your staircase so as luxurious as I made it, and you probably would not want to use mine carts because those are kind of expensive to make. But anyway, we're going to get right down to meat of things. The reason why I make these is the questions. So let's just get right into it. Remember guys, if you want to ask me a question, just leave one in the comments below. If you have a YouTube channel and you ask me a question, I will put the link in the description. Like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 other questions today. All came from other members of Lake Crew, which I'm very happy about. Thank you guys. And yeah, let's just get right down to it. We're going to start with my regular subscribers first, as opposed to going in the order I got these questions in, so yay. Forgetacular, again, you always ask me questions and I'm always very grateful for that. How big are you into Smash Bros? Are looking forward to number 4, and what new character am I looking forward to the most? I used to be really into Smash Bros when I had a Wii, and then when I sold it, I sort of just, the interest died for me, and then I figured Smash Bros 4 was coming out in the 3DS, so I got excited, so I didn't really pay attention to the E3 footage at all, but I really don't like the fact that they made the Wii U trainer a character. I mean, come on, that's just lazy. And the whole action figure things where you can level up, that's just a cash grab, but overall, I'm kind of excited for it, and I think the character I'm looking forward to playing as the most would probably be Grid Ninja, because I just love that Pokemon to death. And the fact that he's a Smash Bros character just makes it all the better. Alright, next is Moosehelm, and he asked, what about the buttery part? I'm assuming he means, how did I get the buttery part of my nickname? Well, initially my old channel was ButteryButters, and that was a joke from high school, where people who were pissing off my friends, what they would do, my friends would call them over, and I would freak them out by doing, like, stupid-ass religious shit to them, and they wound up calling me Bishop. And my nickname had already been Butter, so I just fused the two, but when I made my new channel, I had to think of a new handle for myself, and I was thinking of stuff like, since I was going to, you know, PokeTubing, I was thinking of, like, maybe Trainer Butters or something like that, but then I thought of my best friend who lives in Canada. Her name is Michelle, and she always calls me her Buttery One, and so does her sister. She also calls me her Buttery One, and occasionally some of my other friends call me Buttery instead of Butters. So I just decided to throw that in front of my name, call it ButteryButters, and I think it goes off the tongue rather nicely. So that's the history behind my username. I know it's not great, but it's not, you know, insane either, so I like it. It's nice and simple. Next, we're going to other members of Lake Crew, and the first one that gave me a question was DemonicKiddo. Again, find his link in the description. He's pretty funny, and he asked me a few things. First one was a joke question, can I have your number? And I have an answer for that. I only give my number to attractive chicks, dude. Oh, Jesus. And he asked me, what's my favorite color? And that's probably either blue or green, but I also like red, so it's like any one of those three. And this is the interesting one. What superpower would I like to have? And I've actually been thinking about this since he asked me the question. It's like, which one would I like to have? Invisibility or flight would be the two I would want. Invisibility, just so I could avoid people whenever I wanted to, basically. Gotta get that fly out of my face. And flight, simply because teleportation is overrated, and plus you don't get to see scenery when you teleport, so I'd much rather fly from place to place. Plus, if you fly from place to place, it's relatively fast anyway, so why would you not want to fly? I mean, that's just amazing. It'd be amazing fun to fly. Next, we have Abe, the Pokegamer. Again, you can find his link in the description. He's also pretty damn funny. I'm hoping he uploads more Watch Dogs soon. Like, seriously, dude, that's an amazing series. Keep doing it. He asked me, what is the answer of the universe? And the reason he asked me this is because he Googled the hardest question, and that's the first thing that came up. And the answer to that is, the universe is not a question, it's a plane of existence that we are aware of. And there could be multiple universes, there could only be one, but there is no answer of the universe. There are unanswered questions in the universe, but the universe itself is not a question, it's a plane of existence. So that is the answer of the universe, that it's not even a question to begin with. Logic, my friends. Logic will get you places. Next, Trainer Artie, Trainer Venus. Her name is Casey. She is fucking hilarious. Go watch her Wonderlock, like, right now, because it's amazing. Link in the description. She's also doing a co-op with the last person who asked me a question, and that is also a very funny co-op, Sacred Gold and Storm Silver. So yeah, go check both of them out, but check out Trainer Artie first, because she'll kill me if I don't say check her out first. Anyway, she asked if I can go back and change one thing I've said to someone in the past, what would it be and why? That's a bit of a tough one. I would say... it would probably be the last words I said to my ex-girlfriend, because I was really cruel when we broke up. And we broke up because of her, and because of that, I got very, very much angry when we did break up. I broke up with her, and she said something that just caused me to go off on her. Basically, she cheated on me because she thought I wasn't paying her enough attention when I was lavishing attention on her, basically. And, she said something that made me realize the entire relationship was a sham right from the start. Basically what she said at the end of our argument that led to her breakup was that I was an incredibly selfish person, and that I could never care about anyone as much as I cared about myself. Anyone who knows me personally knows that I am probably the least selfish person in existence, and that's the only thing I am ever proud of myself about, is that I am so not selfish that I've set myself back in life just to help other people when I could have helped myself instead. So if you tell me that I am the most selfish person you know, that basically means that throughout the entire relationship you didn't know me at all. And needless to say, I said some very bad shit to her because of that. And we were already breaking up at that point when she said that, and I said some really horrible shit to her, and I found out later from a friend of hers that it depressed her quite a lot, and her friends had to pull her out of it, and I felt really bad about it, so I probably should have been nicer about it, to put it bluntly. I really should have. And yeah, I felt that the reason why I would go back and change what I said to her is because of how much it upset her. So yeah, she tried getting back with me, but I don't go with exes because that's just stupid. So yeah, that would be the last thing I would change, and the reason why. Thank you, Artie. You got my personal life on YouTube. You're welcome. And last and not least, Bisharp to Queen 4, Brady. Again, check out his channel in the description. He's doing the co-op with Trainer Artie, Trainer Venus. It's hilarious. He's also doing an E4 lock with Karen. And I'm not sure if he's still doing his Blaze Black 2 Nuzlocke, but if he is, go watch that as well. It's pretty funny. And he's an intelligent person, pretty decently funny. Not as funny as Casey. Again, just kissing Casey's ass right now. But yeah, go watch his stuff. And the question he asked me is democracy really for the people, in my opinion? And this is a loaded question, since there are multiple forms of democracy, and multiple, countries that practice it in different ways. England is not a democracy, it is a parliamental monarchy. The Queen has power, but she only has power because the Parliament gives it to her. I think Canada is a democracy based off their Parliament. I can't quite be sure about that since I don't know much about Canadian politics. Brady would have to answer that for me, but the answer I have to that question is that the ancient form used by Athens and Greece, that is the form of democracy that I think works, where basically every person votes on something, and the majority wins. You have people that would tell you about what you're voting for, and people who generally had positions of, I wouldn't say power, but influence enough to the point where, they would be people that people would think about, if say, someone of influence said something and someone of influence said something to the opposite, more people would likely be interested in voting for the thing the person had influence for. But the important thing is that these people, the way that Athens did it is they sat in a forum, basically. They discussed an issue, and anyone that had anything to say about it was allowed to talk. It didn't matter what age you were, and you had to be an adult, but it didn't matter if you were an elder or just barely an adult, or if you were a man or a woman, you could speak your piece about it. And then at the end of it, they basically gave everyone a pair of stones, a black one and a white one. If you were to vote for something, it'd be the white one, and if you were to vote against something, it'd be the black one. You'd just throw them in a pot, and then they would sit around and count it. And that's the form of democracy that I think worked. Granted, Athens got their asses kicked by Sparta, and then needed Sparta to help save their asses against the Persians. And then they all got conquered by Rome, but Yeah, that's the form of democracy that I think worked. The form of democracy that America uses is flawed and corrupt to its very core, and I think America needs a complete overhaul of its system, starting by getting rid of both houses, because it's just, no. Basically, the form of democracy that America has, for anyone who doesn't know, people who don't live in America, people who live in America but aren't quite aware, people who live in Canada and don't care about American politics, or any one of my other viewers from other countries, if there are any, basically what happens is, there are two houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate. The Senate is formed of 100 representatives, 2 from each state. The House of Representatives is formed from a group of representatives based on the population of each state, which generally means the state with the most population has the most representatives. And basically what happens is that when a bill is signed or written up by a member of the Senate votes on it, and then the House votes on it. And if they both pass a majority of 66%, then it goes to the president, who will either veto it or sign it into law. If he vetoes it, it goes back to the Senate to be voted on, and if they reach the majority again, they override the president's veto, and the bill is signed into law anyway. The problem with this system is that every single senator, for the most part, every single member of the House of Representatives, for the most part, is a tool that has their pockets stuffed by corporate lobbyists and does not vote anything in the people's favor, but in the favor of the people that stuffs their pockets, basically. That is the problem. Like, when you think about it, the system itself is decently sound, because with the population that America has, if every single person was to vote and say their piece, so many differing and varied opinions would be shouted out that no progress would get done. So when you think about it, voting on representatives to represent your the group of people makes sense to a degree. However, when you hire representatives, there is the chance of them being bribed. And no politician will ever admit to being bribed, but they all get bribed, basically, and they all only act in the interests of the people who have invested in their campaigns to begin with. Basically, when you look at the donations that corporations make to political parties, they make the same exact contributions and donations to each candidate, basically. If there are opposing candidates, they make the same contribution. The reason for that is no matter who gets elected, they have sway. I'm trying to put it this way, corporations, if you don't know how corporations run, they run based on the stocks they sell, which is people who buy the stocks, which are basically investors. People invest in the corporation to make them more money. Corporations invest in politicians that will help serve their interests. And that's bad, basically. And the form of democracy that America uses is so susceptible to bribery, and the corporations within America are so powerful and so wealthy that the form of democracy that America uses is flawed at its very core because of that. Many people would say that it's the people's fault for electing the corrupt people, but the politicians have such flawless track records until they're elected that you don't know that they're corrupt at their core. And you can't ever, when you take a look at the contributions that people make, if you vote for someone who does not get major contributions from corporations, they're very likely not going to win, because most of America's public will flock to a major party, and major parties get the contributions. It's the minor parties that never get a shot, and the minor parties like libertarians that actually care about the way things work and are actually for the people. There are very few Republicans or Democrats in America that care about the people. They care about the investors. And that's bad. And the president is definitely not immune to it. The president is by far not immune to it, because they get the most money from corporate investors for their campaigns, and thus are most susceptible, especially since these corporate investors very likely have dirt on these politicians, so that if they go back on their word and don't help the corporate interests, they can release that dirt to the public. So, democracy for the people is a thing. but democracy for the people in America is most definitely not a thing. Each individual person in America, if they were to speak their mind and speak out against the government, would get stuff done. But only in a system where they don't vote for people to represent them. If every single issue was put up to a public vote, then I think America's democracy would be for the people. But as it is right now, the politicians only care about their corporate investors, and the president has far too much power to be able to do basically whatever he wants now. He can go to preemptive war, he has executive orders to override vetoes. It's just, the president has too much power, the judiciary branch has too little power, and the judicial branch, I just mentioned them, wow. The House and the Senate both have, they both have too much power for the amount of investment that the corporations put into them, basically. So, basically, American political system equals very, very, very corrupt, and not for the people. And that's what I have to say about that. Jesus Christ, I talked about that for a while. And that's the last question of this. Remember, guys, if you want to leave me more questions, just by all means, throw them in the comments below. And I might wind up, answering the questions from ask.fm on these, because a lot of the questions I get asked from Burakki-xy, check out our channel, by the way, it's in the description, are on Ask. She doesn't ask me any questions on these Q&As. Burakki, please ask them on the Q&A. But yeah, I might wind up linking my Ask for people who just want to ask me like innocuous little questions, but remember, any question you want, just throw in the comments below, I'll answer it. And I might as well throw some updates out there for you. I'm a bit behind on my recording schedule, so my recordings may not come up on time, but they will come up, don't worry. And everything's proceeding apace right now. Since I've only got one more evolution and one more bio to show off in Pokemon Platinum, the recording session should be a lot easier now, especially since I'm going to be editing a lot less, which means I'll be able to put out more videos. Grandia, I just haven't gotten around to, and Valkyria Chronicles, I've been having some issues with getting it into the rendering software, and I've also been having issues with my game fucking up on me, but Valkyria Chronicles is proceeding apace, and that's good. I don't want to do the Cloden Wildwood, I don't want to do Cloden Wildwood skirmish, I never do it right, but I'll figure it out. As for my Q&As, I tried doing Skate 3, and again, it didn't go out into my, rendering software, Sony Vegas, and unlike with Valkyria Chronicles, I can't just, switch it to a WMV file, because the quality would then become so atrocious that you would barely be able to see, so I just decided to put it off for a week again. So yeah, and, Tales of Symphonia is probably going to be late today, since I still haven't edited the last part or rendered out part 3 or 4, so I really got to get those done earlier. But anyway, that ends it for the updates. I don't have many updates. I think next time what I'll do, since I'm starting to get bored of Minecraft, what I'll do is I'll probably play some Rome 2 Total War, or Medieval 2 Total War with mods, and I'll throw that over this. So let me know if you guys want to see more creative Minecraft, or if you guys would like to see something different like Total War games. And finally, after 20 minutes I will see you guys next week on my next Q&A. Remember, leave a like if you enjoyed my answers, or if you enjoyed the fact that I do this, and make sure to leave me any questions in the comments below. And if you're just watching this for the Minecraft and not for the Q&A, then just let me know, and I'll start doing more Minecraft videos. And if you enjoyed it, just, subscribe to me if you want to. And I will see you guys next week. Take care, guys.